Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 16th. We are 90 days out from November 14th, and we're just one day past the 15th protocol, which is what I want to get into this morning. I do want to touch on one quick real estate headline. If you're an Inman subscriber, you've seen the last couple of days, I'm not going to use any names. I just want, it has to be said. There's a company that would tell you by their very name that they have a sense of direction. They have attempted to grow through the offering of equity in their company, and they have also marched around writing checks. Now, when I say writing checks, locally you think to yourself, oh, I know who he means. It's not who I mean. They've decided that they've had pretty decent losses. Well, their second quarter earnings talk about their growth and their losses, which you have one or the other. That aside, I'm honestly not here to pick on them. I want to use it as an example for our personal businesses. They've now decided they're no longer going to utilize those techniques to attract talent into relationship with them. And by offering equity, actual equity in the company, and I mean stock when I say that, when they're offering certain splits with their broker, and when they're offering straight up, here's a check. I've always said to you guys, like without fail, I've said to you guys, when you're doing your, and I know this is I'm going real small on this, but it's part of a bigger concept and about the way we think about our businesses and about the impressions we want to leave. I say to you guys all the time, and it's not a problem if this is something you do, no judgment here, your closing gifts. I've always offered you the opportunity to think a little bit bigger, think a little bit differently, and quite possibly, what would it look like if you got away from consumables and started giving them something that would last, something that would leave if not a lasting impression on them in the moment, right? Maya Angelou, people rarely remember what we say; they remember how we made them feel. So in the moment when you give them this non-consumable gift at their closing that's going to be in their house, some sort of a memento that is, beautiful and thoughtful enough that they would want to keep it out and on display. So even if they do tend to forget, they'll remember again because they're going to see it. They're going to make use of it. They're going to have it in their home. From a broker standpoint, the one thing our company endeavors to do on a regular basis is to leave you guys with something that in the moment, education, training, our sense of contribution, our sense of charity, our sense of community. In the moment when you're feeling that happen for you, there could be a sense of consumption. I'm consuming this moment. I'm taking this all in. But once you've had that opportunity to be in moments like that, and if you've been with our company long enough, they occur time and time and time again. That never goes away. And you could correlate this to your commission check. Now, the commission check you could take and you could use it to invest in real estate. You could use it to do something that you'll always reap the benefits of, your child's education, whatever the case may be. What I know is if it is consumable, like cash, if it is consumable, like a nice dinner, if it is consumable or like when people give somebody a candle at closing with a bottle of wine, And I'm using this analogy to make you think about, are you leaning in to what our company offers to make sure that the experiences that we endeavor to share on a regular basis as peers, as students, as agents, as a member of 463, are you taking part in that? Because, yeah, we'll have events. There's another one coming up on Wednesday. Virginia's putting together. Battle of the Brokerages, right? And there'll be stuff there. There's going to be food and drink there. There'll be consumables there. But the point of that is to bring people together, to create a sense of competition, charity, community, and to leave you with an experience that you won't forget. So I find it fascinating that this company who fancies themselves a disruptor has now decided equity will no longer be offered, right? Because they're lacking the ability to give something they don't have. That's why Gary back in opened in 83. I think profit share came into fruition around 85, quite honestly. It's been years. That is based on your investment in a person and their growth. The check that a brokerage is going to stroke to have you come play with them, that will get spent. Probably backed by a list of promises. Not truths, promises. Keep an eye on who you do business with. And take this story from national real estate over the last couple of days about what people were offering to create excitement. They now can't offer it anymore. Because the value isn't really there. And I say this as a member of a market center. We are not perfect. We're not marching around writing checks and making promises, though, either. We're investing in you. We're giving you all the tools you need. Yes, I said all. We're giving you all the tools you need. And I say that knowing that we have a founder in Texas that if we don't have the tool yet, he's probably working on it. So if you are at a kitchen table today and you're not fighting for your greatness, knowing you're backed by a company that is teaching you to invest in yourself first and the people around you after the fact, your value proposition is bigger than a check. It's bigger than a reduction in your commission. It's bigger than a fake ticket for some stock. Be aware of what's going on with the disruptors in the community, in our industry. And we're about to prove to them once again that you made the right decision. It's a phenomenal opportunity. In the next few days, most of you that are heading to Texas are probably getting on a plane Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 2 days with Gary on stage inviting and interviewing the best of the best. And you're going to be surrounded by the best of the best. And if you are not going to jump on a plane and go to Texas, please grab your digital ticket. Go to megacamp.kw.com, I believe, is going to get you to the page. It's right at the top of the news. Awesome opportunity to hear from the best and hear their stories, because Gary will get there. Gary's going to talk about with some of these top producers, the conversations that they had with their local team leader, maybe at a national level, because Gary still recruits some of these national top producers. Listen to what they talk about. Listen to why they came to play here with us. It's not going to be a check. It's not going to be fake stock. It's not going to be promises. It's profit share, which is real, right? Our little tiny market center, little 463, just screwed up profit share again. Only did 144,000 in July. Actually, 142. I apologize. I'm rounding up a little bit. 141.8, I think. Nonetheless, it's real and it's open book. And that's the other thing. That is the other thing. March into any of these other companies. Wow, he's in a mood today. I'm in a mood. March into any of these other companies and ask them for their books. Some of these behemoths that are public shouldn't bat an eyelash. You are a member of the only privately held open book real estate company on the planet that runs zero debt. And yeah, you know what? You're not getting a Super Bowl commercial here. That stupid billboard on Route 16 South coming out of Rochester that some company thought was a great idea, that doesn't go to you. The 800 number on the bottom of the screen, if you're paying attention on any of these national commercials, goes to some national line and it goes to somebody somewhere, not you. The reason we don't waste our money, I said it, waste our money on stuff like that is because of profit share. We're going to have a phenomenal talent join us toward the end of September. And he's going to just talk about his experience with our company. I won't tell you who it is yet, but I can tell you it's going to be on a Friday at 11. I think it's the 23rd. More info to come. We've got so many talented people. He's joining us just to join us and talk to his friends who are KW people. I do want to get into the 15th protocol, but I was not going to miss a chance to talk about that. Because so often these companies that are pounding their chest because they're doing so well tend to forget that Inman reports on everybody. And they're on the front page today. And I'm not celebrating somebody's losses. I'm glad that sunshine disinfects everything. And you shed a little light on it, and they're talking about their gains and their losses. There's only one number. We are so grateful you're here playing with us. And there's a ton of opportunity here. And I can't remind you guys enough, if you feel that there's some way that we might be holding you back, please raise your hand. Because the unrealized potential that you have, what you perceive to be as the missing tool that we may or may not have. I'm not saying we have all the tools. We have friggin' most of them. And I would argue at this time, at this company, if we don't have it, I guarantee Gary's working on it. I just want you guys to stay focused on you. Because you'll hear when people leave to go search for greener grass, and then they come back. Or they leave, and then they leave that place and go somewhere else. They do a world tour. And sometimes they don't come back. But what I know to a person is every time I interview a veteran agent, whether they've left and come back, or they just took a long time to find us, their only regret is that they didn't get here fast enough. So if you're here right now, you're in the right place. And when you got here, if you made a list of the reasons that you chose to come play with us, and some of those things aren't checked off yet, please reach out so we can help you find the tools you need, so we can help you have the experience you came here for. And it's a two-way street. I need you to raise your hand and tell us what you need. We need you to reach out to us. '15th protocol. If you've ever heard me talk about this was yesterday. You didn't miss it. We're in the midst of it, right? It's the middle of the month. And why do we talk about the '15th protocol so much? Yesterday was August 15th. We do it because the most important thing that you can do is assess at halftime. You're not going to be able to determine how the month is going on August 32nd. It's too late. So what were your goals for August? And obviously, when you get to the 15th day of the month, are you halfway there? Are you past it, right? Because as soon as we start tracking to exceed our goals for any given point in time, what do? We adjust the goals. We raise the bar a little bit. That's how you have exponential growth. Most people in most companies, most agents at most brokerages, and I appreciate this, they create these aspirational goals. I'm going to do all the things in all the states with all the people, right? And hopefully they chunked it down to something that's manageable because we have to be able to track it. You have to state your goal, right? It has to be a SMART goal. That's an acronym. Welcome to KW. It needs to be specific. What are you going to do? It needs to be measurable. How will we know we're doing it? Attainable. Right? Do you have the resources around you to execute on this? Realistic. And people use that word, and I know people are like, well, yeah, I don't want to make something that's unrealistic. The fear there is you throw up this astronomical number and you quit on day one. Realistic means with hard work, with these people around me, with these tools in place, and with continued growth and leverage over the course of 365 days, this is realistic. And that number, although it scares me, is big enough that if I do miss it, if I get to December 31st and I'm off by 10, I still far exceeded my old crappy goal, no judgment, my old crappy goal by 50. So as a coaching staff, Zoe and I, and as a staff, entire staff here at KWCLM, we always want you to set goals that are outside of your comfort zone. At the very least, a little outside of your comfort zone. What is that number? It's going to be different for everybody. And that's going to be a conversation that we're going to have as you reset them this fall for next year. So ask yourself, what was your goal for August? Where do you stand right now? The 15th protocol is about looking where you are, and then based on your actualities, What do I need to do for the next 14 days now? 15, today and the rest of the month. For the next 15 days, how do I lean in to enhance my results so I can get back on track? Because if you erase it, you must replace it. Well, I took yesterday off. I didn't mean to, though. Okay, well, yesterday's activities need to move to today's. So now it starts to compound. And then people start to freak out because it becomes overwhelming. But ask yourself, in the first 15 days, were you doing the activities that were commensurate with the results you expected? And I'll answer for most of humanity, probably not. So don't beat yourself up. Let's just get back on track. You guys in this industry are more accountable as business people than arguably any other. The irony is the sense of freedom creates overwhelming accountability because it's self-directed. I've said this to you guys a million times. The best part of being in real estate is you're in charge. The worst part of being in real estate is you're in charge. And it takes a long time to navigate that. And I know there's a ton of people that are realtors that they get up when they get up, they make a couple of calls, they do a few deals, and they're having good careers. They're living good lives. My question for them as a coach is, what if they leaned into the conversation, the unplaced call, the unknocked door, the unsent text? What if you interacted with a few more people? Just one more, right? Talk about that kid from Family Reunion a few years ago, the gentleman that had Down syndrome, probably in his 20s. I forget his name for the life of me. Told his parents he wanted to do an Ironman. And they're like, okay, let's figure this out. And they got him a coach. They started working. There was some early frustration because he was feeling overwhelmed, as anybody would. I know we've got people in our market centers that have done irons and half irons. It's a tall order, 140.6 miles. Swim, bike, and run, ending with a full marathon. Then they got him a coach, right? So, of course, he's having these conversations. He's feeling overwhelmed. And his dad just said to him, all you need to do, I'm going to make up a name here, Chris, is be 1% better every day. That's all we really need to do. The blessing of being the independent contractor that you are, the blessing of being the solo practitioner, solo artist, as I call it, and I say this with love, I'm not judging the size, the small business owner, is the amount of exponential growth you go through professionally, physically, emotionally, financially. Because as you get started, we talk about it all the time on the org chart in the Red Book, when Gary talks about level 1. So all the things you got to do, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, pick up the dry cleaning, feed the kids, feed the cats, brush your teeth, take a shower. You're doing all the things in and out of your business. You're a one-person show. And then divorced from that, at the bottom of the page, Gary has, then you have to be the thinker and the visionary. And I know people feel like this is so ethereal. They're like, oh, God, think time. Well, I don't have time for that. You do, though. You do, Barbara. You do. Are you making time for it? Well, I don't have the time to make time for it. The best part of real estate is you're in charge. Every day in our businesses, we have a series of choices. So you can choose to find the time, which you will wait forever for that to show up, or you make the time. It's very rare that when you ask somebody about what they're doing or when they're going to do it, it's very rare that they said, oh, I haven't made time for that yet. They said, I haven't found time for that yet. You don't have to look for time. It's in your calendar. You have to prioritize it. That's all. I'll leave you with this. This is one of the most leveling questions you can ask yourself as a realtor, as a business person, whether you're a rainmaker of one of our bigger teams, whether you're a solo practitioner, no matter what you do here at 463. Ask yourself, what's the thing that you do that if you stopped doing it, no one would notice? I would argue that obviously if nobody notices, it's not serving anyone, least of which it's not serving you. We overthink everything. That's natural. That's a ton of time to think about all the things you are intending to do, and you spend most of that time overthinking all the reasons you shouldn't do it. Because there'd be less on my plate. If I create a bigger life, it's more work. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Don't make decisions for your future self that will hold your future self back. That is the regret of the agent who joins us and says, I wish I got here sooner. All they're truly saying when they make that statement to me is, I wish I muzzled my past self and just jumped and just did it. So what is that thing that you know you need to do today? And there's apprehension. There might be a little bit of fear. Yet you know you're surrounded by a staff and systems and models that will allow you to do whatever you want to do today within the parameters of the law, of course. Don't overthink it, overdo it. When I can help. I'm going to stop saying if I can help. It's a matter of when. When are you going to reach out? We're all here for you. Meetwithcoach.com. When you require my face, meetwithcoach.com. And if you need your head checked, your heart checked, you got comments, concerns, or you just need some help with a conversation, 603-834-2856. On that same note, today at 11 o'clock, Keller TV, we're doing scripts and conversations. KellerTV.com at 11 o'clock. Summer Shift is on the regional Facebook page and Zoom at 2 o'clock. We'll see you in and around the Market Center. Have a great day.